What's up, everyone? I'm doing trying to make this quick a review about McElroy truck lines. I'm here in Ohio, and I went to McElroy truck lines. First of all, I'm going to tell you that I'm not a BSer. Um, I'll speak the truth. And if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I just won't make up some kind of uh, I won't give you just some kind of crazy answer. I'll tell you I don't know. I'm not a person that's going to BS you or beat around the bush and say, if you say, hey, how do you get to so and so? And I say, oh man, what you want to do is you want to go down here to the stop sign, take a left, turn right there to the right, man, just go straight. I'm not that type person. If you ask me, hey, how do I get to so and so? I'll say, man, I don't know. I'm just not the type person just to BS. With that being said, there's a guy who kind of blasted McElroy truck lines. I believe his name's David. I don't know what his last name is. Um, and, like I said, I'm a person that's going to give it to you 100%. And I will tell you my opinion. Some of the stuff that he said, um, I don't know. I really don't know about. But some of the other stuff that he said, I will say that some of it was 100% accurate. Um, So I went to, first of all, I just got my CDLs this year. Um, and I wanted something to where I was going to be home every night. So, like I said, I'm in Ohio and they have something here in Ohio where I'm home every night, a Lowe's account. So, um, I called them and my recruiter, I'm not going to give any names. I'm going to try not to give any names. My recruiter told me that yes, they're home every night. My hours of working would be 2 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon. And I said, okay, that's great. I would love that. So I went down there to Cuba, Alabama, and I did not know. My recruiter never told me um, that I was going to be in class for about 8 hours. You're not in class for 8 hours. You leave there, and some of the stuff that David said, you might hear me say. You leave there at 6:30. A van takes you there. It's about a half-hour ride to Cuba, Alabama. We stayed in, I think it's called Meridian, Mississippi, and you go there to Cuba, Alabama. You got to be there at 7. You don't get out of class until after 7. So you're at least there for 12 hours. There was one time we was there till 8, and there was one time where we didn't get back to the hotel until right around 9:30. And my recruiter never told me that. In fact, from what I was told, recruiters do lie. The person that I roomed with, it was a young kid. When I got there, he was already there. I got there Sunday evening. He was already there. And he was a cool guy. But he asked me, he said, how long are we here in orientation? I said, 2 weeks. And he kind of had this look. He said, really? He said, for real? And I was like, yeah. He said, well, my recruiter already told me I was only going to be here for a week. And I said, no, dude. I said, you're here for 2 weeks. And he said, well, I only pack clothes for a week. I said, well, they have a laundry down there. So my complaint comes where, so my complaint comes, sorry about that. I don't know, somebody's coming outside. So my complaint comes, you know, I was feeling good about McElroy trucking. I had never really been away from home, just had a 1-year-old son. So I really didn't want to be away from him. My dad is not very well. So that's the reason, some of the reasons why I want a home daily job. And, I didn't want to do flatbed, but they offered home daily. So I said, okay, let me get some experience and then find something else. And I really didn't, like I said, I really didn't want to do flatbed. I just want to, do the drop and hook and just drive. That's all I wanted to do. But I coexist, I guess, or whatever you say. So, I go there, and the instructors, I love the instructors. David and, I try not to give names, but David and Eddie, I like those guys. They were hilarious. Anybody knows Eddie, just love his stories. He tells stories. Anyway, so my problem was when I got back, my mentor, they call mentors. And first of all, I want to say about where that David guy is talking about religion. First of all, I'm going to say I come from a religious background, Baptist. Um, my mom's a minister. My uncle's a minister. My dad plays the piano in the church. So I know about religion and everything. This guy declined to be. Um, Sorry about that. Um, this guy David decided, not to offer prayer. Now I will say that maybe they changed things around. We didn't go and see. Yes, they do have. For people that say that they don't have a chaplain there, they do have a chaplain there. We actually talked to him, but he didn't take us one by one. He came in the classroom and talked to us for probably 20, 30 minutes. And he was a cool guy. I had no problem with it. But um, I'm a fair person, and in today's world, in today's society, you really can't talk about religion and you can't talk about politics on the job. So I kind of get that, but like I said, I never had a problem with it. But he offered, if you're having trouble or whatever, you can call him and offer. He can offer prayer, or just want to talk about certain stuff. He does that with you. So trying to see who was there. So my problem got when I got back here. First of all, I will say this: they gave me a rental car. Um, they gave me a rental car. When I got to the rental place, I asked the lady because, I was putting, I live here in Ohio, so it was about like a 10 or 11 hour drive for me. With all the stops, it was probably 11 or 12. Actually, it was about 12. I left Cuba, Alabama about between 1 and 2, and got back in Ohio about 1:30. And I was told I would be reimbursed for gas, and I think I spent right about $80 because when I got there, they gave us I don't know what they're called, Nissan Forte or something. It's a truck. And I asked the lady, I said, do you have something smaller, like a car, like a Ford Fusion or something easier on gas? And she said, no, this is the vehicle that Mcelroy issued. So I said, okay, no problem. I'm going to get reimbursed for it, no problem. So when I get back here to Ohio, guy calls me and tells me, be at Lowe's. It was Lowe's distribution count. Be at Lowe's at midnight. I said, okay, so it's about a half an hour drive for me. No problem. So I tried to get some sleep. So I get there at 12. This is where it gets a little funny, what I was never told. When I get there, my mentor tells me that I'm going to be working from midnight until about 4 p.m. And I was like, whoa, okay. So, but then I thought, okay, we'll just get through it, and maybe it's just they're backed up or something. Well, I was never told from 12 until 3, you're securing your loads, putting the straps on, putting the bungee cords on. From 12 to 3, you're doing that because we had three deliveries. From 12 to 3. In the meantime, my mentor tells me we are not getting paid for this. He doesn't put us on duty until about 3 o'clock when we're leaving. So I worked from 12 till right around 4. And 3 hours of the day, you're working off the clock. So you're working 16 hours a day. And I told him, I said, I was never told this. I was told from 2 a.m. to about 12 in the afternoon. And he said, no. He said, I don't know why they tell people that. He said, you're going to be working about 16 hours a day. And I thought, okay, so I'm thinking in my mind, I'm working with him. I didn't let him on that I was thinking, but he had actually told me that he had a lady that he was training right before the week before me, and she had quit for the same reason because she was told it was a 10-hour a day, 10 to 12 hour a day job, and she quit because she was lied to. My mentor actually asked me who my recruiter was because he was going to call in there and complain to them and tell them to quit lying to these people that this is a 16-hour a day job. And I did. I gave him my recruiter's name, and I don't know if he called or anything, but so I quit. I just didn't quit. Like I said, I'm a fair person. I went about the right way. I called McElroy Truck Lines and told them that I was, you know, quitting. Basically, I told them I was going to stop. And when I told them I was quitting, I asked them about getting reimbursed for gas. They even told me, the lady, I can't remember the lady's name, she even told me to email her the gas receipts. And I did that. I can't remember. I think I had one that was like $34, another one that was $30, another one that was $20. I had another one that was $10, but I can't find the receipt, so no big deal. So it was $80. And then she told me that would be issued on my check. So Friday comes and I did not get my check. McElroy decided that they were going to charge me for my background screening, my drug test, my hotel stay, and my rental car, which, well, I will tell you, I can't find the paper, or maybe it was the lady that told me that the rental car was 200, and I think it was like $247 was the rental car. McElroy charged me 400 some dollars for the rental car. I tried to go about the right way. I called McElroy and I talked to a man there who was higher up. Payroll didn't really want to talk to. They gave me someone else, and he had told me what they were doing, and I, told him. Now, first of all, I will tell you, he said that you signed a some kind of escrow account. I don't know if I really signed that, to be honest. Because when you get there for orientation, there's like a ton of paperwork they're just giving you. They're giving you just a bunch of stuff to sign, to do this, do this. I do maybe remember them saying something about escrow, but I really don't remember. But I did ask one of the instructors. I asked him, because I never would have took the job if I knew this. I asked him. I said, "Is there a contract? Because I don't want to go to a job and have to sign a contract for a year or 2 years or whatever. Like if I go to a trucking job, say I'm there for 7, 8 months and I want to leave, I don't want to, be penalized for that. So if I would have knew there was any type of where you had to stay there at McElroy, I never would have went. I would have just looked somewhere else. But they're saying that I signed some kind of escrow. So they basically took my check of $750. Now, the one check I did get the first week I was there, and I know for a fact that, I'm not going to mention any names, but my class was small, and there was a guy that really got done wrong. I don't want to put all of his business out there, but he had a death in the family. And you could tell something was really, really wrong with this guy. And, we tried to talk. Like I said, there was only 4 of us in a class, and the other 3 guys, me and 2 other guys, tried to talk to him and try to comfort him, we cried with him and everything because he was really hurt. And he really didn't pass the driver test. The standard, the manual shift, and McElroy wanted to fire him. McElroy Truck Lines wanted to fire him, but the instructor said, "No, I don't think that's the right thing to do. Let's give him another chance." So they put him in. They let him test in an automatic. He wasn't very happy about it. He's and I told him I respect him for this because, something defeated him as as the manual shifting, and he wanted to beat it. He wanted to beat that. He wanted to do it. But McElroy said, you know, and I told him, I said, he was really upset about that. And I went out there on break and I talked to him. I said, hey man, I said, they're just, they're just trying to get you to pass. And I'll tell you, I passed it, but I'll be honest. Like I said, I'm an honest person. He was actually a better driver than me. I have trouble shifting. I think he stalled the vehicle. But like I said, I'm a very fair person, and I will say that he was a better driver than me. He shifted better than I did. I mean, when I'm shifting, my upshifting, I'm okay. My downshifting, you got to rev it up. You're hearing, this guy was very good at it, and so I was surprised that they failed him. But I understand that, but he was actually a better driver than me. But anyway, he had a death in the family, and they basically told him, we were going home early Friday, about 12 o'clock. They come, tell us who our mentors were, trainers, whatever. And when they get to this guy, they said, since you tested on a manual or automatic, since you tested on automatic, you have to go with a trainer that has an automatic. He was not very happy. He was okay with that, but where he kind of he really didn't lose his cool. But where he really got upset was, you're going home. You want to go home. You want to go home see your family. And they basically told him, we have to put you in an automatic. McElroy is going to pay for your 2 nights here at the hotel, and then you can leave with your mentor on Monday. So McElroy was basically not letting him go home. And he was kind of pondering, what do I do? I just had a death in the family. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So we're getting ready to load up in the truck, and we were giving hugs to each other, and he was upset, and I said, hey man, listen. I said, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I said, but family's important. I said, you can get, you got a CDLs. I said, you can get a job anywhere, man. I said, so if you want to go home because your family member passed away, go home. For me, it would have been a no-brainer. Long story short, he ended up doing that. And he ended up getting a little bit of the check. I don't know how he got home, but anyways, McElroy Truck Lines took my paycheck. And the guy that I talked to was very rude over the phone. He informed me that McElroy Truck Lines does not have anything to do with people working off the clock to secure their loads. He knows nothing about that. And I even told him, I said, I know why they do it, is to keep it under the drive time. You're in a drive for like 11 hours. And I told him, I know why they do it, so you can stay under that time. But, I mean, call me a, butthole, whatever you want to call me. I'm not going to work for free. You're working 3 hours a day out of your day. That's 15 hours a week. That's 60 hours a month. 720 hours a year. You're working for free for McElroy. And the guy said, I really don't know anything about that. Which I don't know if he knows or not, but so I just want to make a complaint. I'm upset, because like I said, I went down to McElroy Truck Lines believing that I was going to be working for them and being home every night. Yeah, and my mentor even said, yeah, he said, you'll be home every night, but all you're going to be doing is sleeping, because we work 16 hours a day. And like I said, I never even would have signed on with them. I never even would have went with them if I knew that, 12 hours a day I probably would have done, because I worked at a job where I worked 8.5 hours a day, and I drove an hour to and from work, so I was basically gone almost 11 hours. So yeah, I could handle 12 hours a day, but 16 hours a day, by the time I got home, I wouldn't even get 8 hours sleep. I'd get maybe, realistically, maybe 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Um, so, I mean, you do what you want. I would say stay away from McElroy truck lines. They're not who they say they are. When they tell you, recruiters will tell you anything to get you in there. That is the truth. The recruiter lied to me, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she lied to me, or maybe she didn't know. But and I even told them. I said I was They asked me why I was quitting after the first day on the job, after I went down there for 2 weeks and did the orientation and the training, and then I worked here at the first day of the job. They asked me why I was quitting. I said I was misinformed. I thought it was a 10-hour day job. It's 16 hours, and 3 hours of the day you're working off the clock. You're working for free. And I said I'm just not going to do that. So that's my review on McElroy truck lines. I'm still searching for a job. I don't have any experience. I'd like to be home every night. I know that's probably, kind of a pipe dream, but, like I said, I have a 1-year-old, and my dad's his health isn't very well. Somebody turn off the light. So, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say on McElroy truck lines. Try not to go there, unless you want to do your research. If anybody has any questions about McElroy truck lines, feel free to comment. I'm not asking you to subscribe. I don't want any money or nothing like that. I'm just speaking the truth about McElroy. But like I said, everybody there, my instructors were there. They were all nice. I liked them all. Joked around with them all. I still like them. I don't have any problems with them. I know they probably don't have anything to do with it. I think it's upper management. But McElroy truck lines is, in my opinion, very dirty. And now I think David said, the guy that's on there complaining, said that they are about to lose their main account, and their main account is Lowe's, and that's what I was doing, was the Lowe's account. And he said they're about to lose all their Lowe's account. I don't know if that's true, but I do know a fact that they did lose one of the Lowe's accounts. I believe it was in Florida. And I believe they lost that to, I don't quote me on this, but I believe it's called Brown Trucking. And the reason why they lost that was because McElroy truck lines, the drivers were not getting there on time. So I don't know if they're going to lose their Lowe's account or not, but it's very discouraging, because $750 to me was a lot of money. My bills don't stop because I don't have a job or whatever. So I think that's my son. No, it's not my son. So anyway, yeah, that's it. If you have any questions about McElroy truck lines, comment, and I'll try to get back to you. I've never done this YouTube stuff like this, but I'll try to get back to you and give you the best answer that I can. But yeah, everybody, be safe out there and have a good nice night.